Monday, February 13th. I woke up today and I went outside and I was like, oh, it's so cold. And I checked my car temperature gauge and it said 62 degrees. And that's when you hear 62 degrees in Florida. Oh, it's freezing. You hear the people down here and you go, oh, they should shut up. And here I am, one of them, saying 62 degrees in Florida is just too cold, 62 degrees in Florida feels like, 32 degrees up north. What nerve we have to say that, right? So, folks, how's everyone doing on this Monday, early morning, early afternoon, whatever you want? That's not early morning, it's late morning, early. Mary, good afternoon, Mary. Good to see you. So a lot of, I thought that Super Bowl game was just incredible. It was, Aunt BB2, good morning. Calm, hello, Bill. Thomas Jordan's in the house. How are you guys? The Super Bowl was a magnificent game. I mean, 38-35. The only real controversy was the call near the end of the game, that the holding call on the defensive back, number 24 on the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't think they needed to call that. I really don't. I think that the reason it was controversial, I think at the time, maybe there was just under 2 minutes left, or a minute 30, maybe, I'm not even sure. But so then Kansas City would have been forced to kick the field goal earlier. They would have made the field goal, but then Philadelphia would have got the ball back with maybe a minute 30, minute 20 left. And, with that offense, I think the very least they may have been able to. Cherry Hill says it's a bad call. Well, I agree in a game like that because, first of all, it seems like the NFL referees let the defensive backs get away with a lot. And if they're that has to be consistent. The calls have to be consistent. But if you're playing by the letter of the law, then it was a holding. And the defensive back on the Philadelphia Eagles admitted to it. He goes, yeah, I grabbed his jersey. Did that impede his forward progress? And would he have been able to make that catch? I don't think he'd been able to make that catch. But just the point that now it gave them a fresh set, an automatic first down, right? And they were able to. Ray Kelly, Cozumel. Hi from Cozumel. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. So, yeah, it gave them a fresh set of downs, and we were able to run the clock down to, I think, they kicked the field goal with like 8 seconds left. And Ramona Smith, how are you, Ramona? Good to see you. Morning. Haha, I'm in Canada, and we're having a Chinook, +6 centigrade or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's Canada, right? Philadelphia had too many penalties. Brian Coyne, hello from Illinois. Chicago, that's a cold area, right? Chicago, Illinois is one of the coldest places. I went to college in Buffalo, as many of you guys know, and that was pretty damn cold. Cherry Hill, his jersey didn't even stretch. It is a beautiful day, other than it's cool, Ray Kelly just wanted to say hello, going snorkeling now. You're the man, enjoy your life. You always hear that expression now, that's sort of a new expression, live your best life. Is that like new, or did they always say that? The new expressions come out, living your best life. I've always tried to live my best life, but you can't always do that, right? Because you can't have fun every single day of your life, right? You can make the best of every single day in your life, but you can't have fun every single day of your life, So, guys, with the Idaho quadruple murder case, it's there hasn't been any real new information, although we reported on the other day the controversy over whether did Brian Kohberger purposely plant that sheath. We spoke about that on my last live. I spoke about it the other night with Professor Michael Geary, who you guys love. For some reason, you guys have really taken to Professor Mike, retired NYPD sergeant, professor at Albertus Magnus, law degree, Michael Geary. Ruckus Rocks, just a minute to say hello, have a great day, so thanks for all you do. Thank you, Ruckus Rocks. Susie, he's very knowledgeable, he certainly is, and he's low key, he's just a likable guy, Not like me, I'm more like bombastic and a acquired taste, I don't know. You don't get internationally loved. Susie Chapstick, are we beaching today? Well, this is going to be Beaching with Bill, or commonly called bitching with Bill, you know. The love of God. See, everyone, Mike Geary is awesome. Scott in the house. Hi, Aunt B. 70 people in the chat, 31 with the thumbs up. So good, you know, even though, like today, I don't have a lot of news to bring to you, I still like to sit down here and talk to you guys. S-Ray Love, right of Brooklyn also. Yeah, Michael Geary is straight out of the Bronx, whereas Phil Grimaldi is straight out of Brooklyn. He's got that Italian accent. He's got that Brooklyn, hey, forget about it, you know. You know something, Scott? I'm down here in Jupiter, and I don't like frequent any like pubs that I know. So I actually didn't get in any boxes. And I mean the numbers. What were at the end of the first quarter? What was it? 7-7. I mean, the numbers were, you know. And the final was 8 and 5, right? Yeah, 8 and 5. That would seem like a unusual number, an 8 and a 5, right? But remember, the game was tied up at 35-35, and then the final was 38-35. So 8 and 5 was the final number. Kim Alliston, good to see you. Kim Alliston, always one of our mods, one of our big supporters of Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories, Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill, Beachin' with Bill. I love your whole crew. I think both of your choices, Mike and Phil, keep the channel so well-rounded. Love your channel. Thank you, Com. That's really nice to know. It's always nice to hear positive things, you know. There's some negatives out there, too. I read most of the chat, if not all of it. Yeah, what's going on with all of these balloons that our armed forces are shooting out of the sky? Do they all belong to China? I mean, have we been invaded by China? Al Gore's rhythm. I'm not going to cover the case in the UK. No, I'm not familiar with that. I've seen some other content creators on here cover that. However, I don't know. Scotty Wagner, my son and I hit for the half. I hope it was big money, Scotty. Richard Resendez, I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I got like, what is this? I got February, I got March, I got 2 months left down here, then I go back to New York. You know, it'll be fun to go back home. Hi, Sergeant Bill. It was a great football game. Very exciting. Kim Allison, absolutely. I thought it was great. Jalen, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Look, not every Super Bowl is a great game. This was a fantastic game, you know. And look at Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes. What a tough dude he is, right? When he re-injured his ankle at the end of the first half, you were like, oh, my God. You see him grimacing in pain? Who thinks they shot him up with something at half? I do, because he came out there and there was no sign of a limp. But then he took like a 25-yard scamper. Remember that? For the first down and more. I think they gave him something for pain. What do you guys think? If you think they gave him something for pain, put a 1 in the chat. If you think he just braved it, put a 2. Who thinks they gave him something for pain at the half? Because there was no sign of pain anymore. S-Ray, one of the best national anthems ever. Kim Alliston, Judy B, there's 2 1s so far. I think everyone's thinking he got something for pain. They got a Dr. Feelgood to take away that pain. Scotty Wack has about 10 1s in the chat. Debbie T, several. Aunt BB, the love of God. Everyone thinks. Jimmy Hawks, good to see you, buddy. Hello from North Carolina. Yeah, I think he definitely got something for pain. But, you know, so what? But, well, so what when you think of it? If you can't feel pain, there's a danger you could injure yourself worse, right? Because you're doing things not favoring the injury because you're not feeling it. You know, you're not feeling that pain. So that's the argument against that. But this was the Super Bowl, right? And now he's got till the summertime to heal, right? You feel no pain, Austin, Texas in the house, CBGB. I bet he refuses any form of pain relief. You think so, Susie? I don't know, not in the Super Bowl. I think he was probably given something for pain. You know, I can almost guarantee that. I think he was given something. Shari R, Nevada Pup, good morning. Good morning, yesterday. You wake up, I went up too high, and time has slipped away. You know, when you saw Engelbert Humperdinck died, and I didn't realize, I know when they started talking about some of the songs he had written, I didn't even know that he wrote that Oscar-winning song, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, that was sung by B.J. Thomas. I know that was a hit song for a movie. I think it was, what the heck was the movie that was in? Was it with Paul Newman and Robert Redford? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I think that was the song for that movie. And I didn't know that Engelbert Humperdinck, who just died, I think at the age of 94 or something, I didn't know that he wrote that. You know the tune, guys. Raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just give me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he's got things done. Sleeping on the job, those raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. Shatim Smith, you're telling me that Engelbert didn't write that? They posted it on, I believe it was TikTok, and they said that Burt Bacharach did write Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Well, I guess I'm wrong then, so you got a free song, you got a free jukebox. You can have your quarters back from the jukebox. What was the real famous tune he wrote? But he was a great songwriter, nonetheless, even if he didn't write Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. I remembered the song the other day. Now, hope you didn't sing at a two-man radio car. No, I didn't. I didn't sing in the car. But Burt just died. Yeah, that's the whole point of this. I think he was 94 years old. Burt Bacharach died. Great, great songwriter. Pauline Buckles, written by Burt Bacharach and Hal someone. So Burt Bacharach did, Pauline, you told me Burt Bacharach did write Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head? Barbara George, thank you, Bill. You're bringing a smile to my face. You said Engelbert Humperdinck. Yeah, Engelbert Humperdinck. I thought that he wrote Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Pauline, what'd you just say? Who wrote it? He did write it in 1977. Burt B. co-wrote. Oh, so he co-wrote the song. All right. Shatim Smith, you're confusing me here. First you said he didn't write it. Now he did write it. Okay. Well, you know, sometimes the artist that sings a song makes the song more famous than the person that wrote it. That's especially true with a lot of Bob Dylan tunes. All Along the Watchtower. If I said that tune to you guys, most of you would say, oh, Jimi Hendrix, that was a great tune. Jimi Hendrix, he did make it famous, but you know who wrote that? You guessed, Bob Dylan wrote that. Bob Dylan wrote All Along the Watchtower. But you mentioned that song to people and they would say, oh, that was written by Jimi Hendrix. Not true, not true. But hey, he made it famous. He owned the tune, right? So many songs that Dylan wrote that were made famous by other artists, but he nonetheless wrote them, you know. What's that tune? When the rain is blowing in your face and the is on your face, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I knew it from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true, but there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the end of the earth for you to make you feel my love. Guys, guess who wrote that? Guess who wrote that? I know all these artists that made it famous, but guess who wrote it? Come on, guys. This is the TN. Hello from Port of Tacoma, Washington. Christopher fan, always. Bob Dylan. You hit it on the head. Bob Dylan wrote that one too. Amazing tune, right? Pamela White, I'm amazed with your memory for lyrics. Some I can remember, not all of them. Blinded by the Light, sung by Manfred Mann. Who wrote it? Scott. That's not a Bruce Springsteen, is it? Because I know Bruce Springsteen sang that, but I don't know if he wrote it. Blinded by the Light. Who's going to tell me? Who's going to tell me who wrote it? No, but I sing. I play guitar at home, so my wife gets sick of me. She doesn't even want to. Jalen, oh, I didn't know that wasn't. No, Adele, again, made that song famous, but she was one of many artists. She did not write that song. Bob Dylan did, you know. It's amazing. He wrote it, and then Adele made it famous too. So, yeah. No, I mean, that's an amazing thing. Dylan, yeah, great. He's in his 80s, Bob Dylan, you know. You know what's great if you get a chance to watch the 60-minute interview of Bob Dylan, and he talks about some of the songs. I'm sorry, you know, I'm screwing this whole thing up. Burt Bacharach died on. Bob Dylan is an amazing artist. Love Bob Dylan, seen him in concert. He is so good. I used to think like when I was younger that like his voice was like, oh, you know. You got a lot of nerve to say you are my friend. He had that like Dylan-esque voice that was somewhat like, you almost thought he was putting it on, but that was his real voice. Polythene Pam, yes, the Beatles. You even have, well, you should see Polythene Pam. She's so good looking that she looks like a man. Well, you should see her in drag just in a polythene bag. Yeah, you should see Polythene Bag. Yeah. Yeah. And that song goes into, she came in through the bathroom window, right? It comes right in, it goes right into that tune, right? Oh, Pamela White, oh Jesus, Bill, you sound just like, not really, but I mean, people like to criticize Dylan, but he's probably one of the greatest songwriters ever, you know? Blinded by the Light is a song written and recorded by Bruce Springsteen according to Wiki. I thought possibly Bruce Springsteen wrote it, but I wasn't sure. But Wiki isn't always accurate, you know. Only got to see Paul McCartney and Wings. They were pretty good, Paul McCartney and Wings. I like that album. It was a double album, Wings Over America. You guys remember that? Sitting in the stands at the sports arena, waiting for the show to begin. Red light, green light, strawberry wine. A good friend of mine studies the stars. Venus and Mars are all right tonight. That was one of the Paul McCartney tunes on Wings Over America. So, yeah, so what's going on with all of these unidentified flying objects that our military is shooting down? Do they all belong to China? Are they spying on us in every state of the Union? It's pretty scary, right? I don't know. You know, it's scary that they've probably been doing it for years and we're just discovering it now. That's a little scary, you know. Look, we were all of us coppers from New York, we were all 9/11 first responders. And I always thought as a youngster, oh, no one could penetrate U.S. airspace. Believe me, that is so not true, and we've seen how that was demonstrated on 9/11, even though, of course, it was trickery by hijacking commercial airlines and flying them into a building. But I don't think it's impossible to penetrate U.S. airspace, as we've always been taught to believe. Barbara George, we're all being watched every day. Laugh out loud. Yeah, and you know something, but it is a little bit scary right now that you got these unidentified flying objects spying on our country. Crazy, right? 110 in the chat, 65 with the thumbs up, guys. This is Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill, Beachin' with Bill, If you like this show, give us a thumbs up. Go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Again, give us a thumbs up. Ring that bell. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. And if you want to support us financially, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels. We also have our YouTube channel members with 5, count them, 5 different levels. So if you want to support us, we appreciate it. Sue Prost, hello from Long Island. Where on Long Island, Sue? That's where I'm from. I grew up in Levittown, Long Island, the home of many. Eddie Money, remember Eddie Money? Baby, hold on to me. The future is ours to see, baby. Eddie Money. His brother was an NYPD captain, and actually Eddie Money was in the police academy to become a New York City cop, and then he dropped out and became a rock and roll star. Westbury near Eisenhower Park. Yes, I know Eisenhower Park well. You know, connected to music, Eisenhower Park, I forget what year it was, but I was supposed to go see Harry Chapin perform at Eisenhower Park. It was one summer night, and that day, Harry Chapin died in a car accident on Long Island Expressway. And his Volkswagen Rabbit got hit in the rear by a tractor trailer, and it exploded into flames, and Harry lost his life. What a great human being he was, you know. Great songwriter, just a great, he gave away so much money that his family was left with very little when he died. Almost every other concert he did was a benefit for world hunger. He was just a selfless guy. Me too, we're Harry Chapin. Remember the old train there? There was a big locomotive at Eisenhower Park. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been to Eisenhower Park. Well, every year, Levittown Memorial, where I went to high school, they used to have reunions every single year at Eisenhower Park. I think they've sort of slowed down because when you have a reunion every year, you've seen people too often maybe. You don't want to see them every damn year. Oh, so the train is gone. Harry Chapin. What's Harry Chapin's most famous song, guys? Do you remember? Legal Eagle. I mean, it's either has or it hasn't. I can't believe for a moment that they wouldn't know. Linda Daughtry, good morning. How are you? Come on, guys, tell me what Harry Chapin's most famous song is. No, well, yeah, Cats in the Cradle's famous, but my favorite song is not Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. It's Taxi. Remember that tune, Taxi? It was raining hard in Frisco. I needed one more fare to make my night. I saw a lady at the corner. She got in at the light. That tells a great story. Something about her was familiar. I knew I'd seen her face before, but she said, I'm sure you're mistaken, and she didn't say anything more. Legal, sorry, Bill, my comment was following on from my previous comment. It's all right. You know, with the chat, it's sometimes hard for me to keep pace with it. Sometimes it moves really fast. Sue Prost saw Harry with Peter Yarrow and Pete Seeger. Yeah, Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle. That was a great tune too, Cats in the Cradle. I believe Harry Chapin's wife wrote the lyrics to Cats in the Cradle. Basically, as a warning, Harry, you're never home. Your kids are growing up without you. You don't know what your kids are doing because you're never home, you know, because you're always performing somewhere. And that was the sort of the message to that song. But yeah, he was a great, his brother too, it was his younger brother who was, trying to think his name. He played on a TV show called Make-A-Wish, and it was an Emmy Award winning TV show. And I can't think of his name right now, but any of you guys remember Harry Chapin's older brother? Fat Lip Sandwich, Daddy Crab, I have no idea. I don't think I've ever heard a song called Fat Lip Sandwich, but Midtown North STPT, Tom Chapin, that's it, that's right, Tom Chapin. He was actually a basketball player at NYU, a hell of a good player too. I think the father of the Chapins was a drummer, was a professional drummer, and that's where the family got that musical history and a musical bent from. And I think his younger brother too was a piano player. He became a songwriter too. I don't think any of them became as famous as Harry, but it was a real musical family. But Tom Chapin, that's right. Daddy Crab, I was joking, Mr. Cannon. That's okay, you can joke. How do I know you're joking? It could be a song called that, you know? My favorite title of a country western song ever was She's Acting Single, I'm Drinking Doubles. I don't know if it's a good song or not. I just love the title. I think it's a great title to that song. There's a lot of noise going on in this park. Not too bad though, but it's a beautiful, beautiful park down here. You know, one of the things when I do these outdoor Coffee with Cannon, I have to have good Wi-Fi, can't be too windy, and I sort of need a roof over me or else I can't see the chat. It's too sunny, it's too bright, you know. Kim Allison Owings Trading, happy Monday. This is a very special project. Sergeant Bill has such a warm, wonderful personality. Love the Coffee with Cannon. Thank you, Kim. Always, she's a huge supporter of me. Cherry Hill was an okay song. The weather looks great there. It's beautiful. It's cool though. It's like 62, but you know, in Florida. Scott says those balloons being sent up by the Adams administration. I don't know. They're finding them in other states, right? They'll find them in the West first. I'm wearing a jacket because it's like 62 degrees. To me, you know, in Florida, that's freezing. It feels a little cold. It's a little bit, you know, cool. It's a little cool in Florida. And, you know, when people say that, you're always like, oh, come on, 62 in New York right now. People would be so, oh, it's warm, it's so hot, you know. But Owings Trading, indeed, Kim, in a New York accent is priceless. Me too, huge support of Sergeant Bill. Sergeant Bill, did your team win? You know, the Kansas City Chiefs are not like specific, they're not my team, but I was rooting for them between the two teams that were playing because some guy's using I'm gonna step away from here if I can. It's too damn noisy. So guys, I had to move away from there. It's that, as you can hear, it's a little bit obnoxious. He's using an edging machine, so I have to walk away to another location. So, but he has his job to do, and I have mine. So, I'm going to go under another awning here, and hopefully he won't follow me, you know. And how about Linda Ronstadt? Great. Boy, she can't sing anymore because of health. That's too bad. She was great too, and back in the day, you know. She was really great, you know. There's so many great, well look, David Crosby just died, right? He was great too. The guy moves away, but it's all right. And now I got a lawnmower close to me. I can't get away from this stuff, guys. But he'll be away in a second. Mahomes is a warrior. He graduated an hour from me. Cherry Hill, love Linda Ronstadt. She's fantastic. Gardening with Cannon, Owens Trading. Okay, not any interference as far as the wind and stuff. We all right? But 124 in the chat, 81 with the thumbs up. Shariar, I'm in the upper echelon of Arizona. It's supposed to snow tomorrow. Wow. Snow. I'm glad there's no snow down in Florida here. But you know, I'm gonna take a little walk away, guys, because I'm too close to all this noise. Let me just move. You guys all right? So, I just want to move a little bit away before I made it 40. 116 in the chat, 88 with the thumbs up. Guys, let's get some more Mahomes went to Texas Tech. That's right. That's right. Mahomes is a brilliant, brilliant quarterback. I mean, just incredible, you know. But it's yeah. Let me sit down over here, guys. I'm trying to get away from the noise here, but I keep moving closer. Okay. There we go. Is it okay? Barter with Bill. Polythene Pam is still on the air. Cocoa Puff Bear. Yo, Sergeant Bill. Love these names in the chat. It's really cool. So I got away from the lawnmower so far and the edger. And I'll see what else maybe they'll shoot down a balloon near me. That's some view, Sergeant. Tee off time it went. You know, I used to play golf. I don't play anymore because I get tired of talking about this, but I got arthritis in both shoulders. And when I swing a golf club or throw a football, it hurts like hell. So I had to, you got to listen to your body though, you know. So I worked out this morning though, but I just went to the gym. And all I did today was I did an hour and 15 minutes of cardio. I did 45 minutes on the bicycle, and then I did another half hour on the pre-core. So I feel like I got my workout in. Daddy Crab, Becky, some CBGB. Owings Trading, agree with you, love Sergeant Bill's accent, guys. I don't know if they love it down in Florida, but they know where you're from right away, you know, when they hear your accent. Oh, this boy, that's an old Beatle tune. That boy took my love away. I don't remember all the words. That's an old Beatle tune. I think that was on Meet the Beatles, wasn't it? That came out in 1965. My God. That was, when that album came out, I was like immediately hooked on the Beatles. How the hell old was I in 1965? God, I was 9 years old. And I was like an immediate Beatle fan, you know? So, Vicky Quinn, hit the like button. Bill, start practicing Danny Boy. Our holiday's coming up. Yeah, that's true. St. Patty's Day, right? Yeah. That's an iconic song. Scott was on Key West back in October. It was unbelievable. Nice people, great food, and the costumes were interesting. Oh, you're talking about Key West. I last year I went to the Florida Keys, but I went to Isla Morada. I stayed in Isla Morada, and Isla Morada is just beautiful. Went fishing. We had a great time, and I would definitely go back to Isla Morada. Sergeant George Eshog, happy after Super Bowl Monday. Yeah, well, people are happy whose team won. If you're a Philadelphia fan, maybe you're not so happy, you know. So, saw them on Ed Sullivan, was 4 years old, instant Beatles fan, Polythene Pam. Yeah, I saw them all. I remember we had the worst TV back then. Remember you used to have the rabbit ears so your TV would get good reception? And like there'd be fuzziness and you have to change the thing. Sometimes you'd have to hold the antenna for it to get better reception. That was before cable, way before cable, right? Now we're all spoiled with great pictures, and if the cable goes down, we freak out, right? Or even worse, the Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi goes down, we feel like, oh my God. Sergeant Bill, what's your plans for Valentine's Day? Well, my wife is actually coming here on this week, so I'm going to be by myself on Valentine's Day, but I'll call and we'll go have a nice dinner together once she gets here. But she's going to be up north for Valentine's Day, so I don't have any real plans for that day. Daddy Crab, when did you retire, Bill? I retired from the NYPD in 2011, but I taught college full time till 2016. And then I didn't consider that I retired. I started doing acting. I was auditioning for commercials, for TV shows, and and I did stand-up comedy for 7 years. And once COVID hit, it threw everything sort of into a tailspin because comedy slowed down where there was no live performances. So people were actually doing shows on the internet. But it was unsatisfying because there was no audience and you couldn't tell if you told a good joke or not because there was no audience there to hear your jokes. So Why not be a singer in retirement? Right now, again, I started doing the podcast about, I don't know, 3.5 years ago. And initially I started the show with Mark DeMeo, who's, I don't know if you guys are from the Northeast or New York City area. Mark DeMeo is a great stand-up comic. He's actually a headliner. And he's since moved to Las Vegas, where I'm sure if he wants to work in Las Vegas, he could work every single night as a stand-up comic. I've been in touch with him. I don't know what his plans are as far as comedy, but Mark is no longer involved in the Police Off the Cuff podcast. Debbie T, tinfoil on a TV antenna, that's for sure, right? So you know what I'm talking about. Rich Borgia, I called the Super Bowl win. Well, you know something? It could have went either way. Both of those teams. That guy, Jalen Hurts, that guy's incredible too. What an athlete. It's amazing. Two great quarterbacks, two great teams. It's a shame one team has to lose, right? Because they were just so good. Lula Morocco, good morning, Sarge. I just sent an email to you with contact info. Thanks, amazing. Yeah, it was a great game. That's not every Super Bowl is a great game, but yesterday's game was tremendous. I thought that both teams were great. Look at the end of the first half. What was it, 24-10, right? At the end of the first half. How many thought that was over? That after all, did anyone play Super Bowl squares or other mild gambling? Blondie 1025, hello. In the U.S., it seems we call them boxes. You buy boxes. Pamela White, Chiefs won in the last. I think actually, Pamela, there was 8 seconds left. They kicked a field goal. Jalen Hurts is what Lamar Jackson wants to be. Christina Miller, halftime activities, you didn't like them, huh? Philly still has hoagies and pretzels. Pamela White. Look, the Super Bowl is so Americana, right? Football, it's probably the biggest sporting event in, at least in the U.S. Actually in the world, because billions of people watch it on TV, and it's just billions of dollars a bet on that game, billions. So that in itself, when you think about it, how do you think the bettors liked that call, that holding call at the end of the game? They probably didn't appreciate it too well, right? That the game was affected. The game was affected by that holding call, and yeah, it was. It was a sort of a shame because it seems like the referees let a lot of that go, and the referees decided they needed to make that call near the end of the game, and I don't know. Was it a good call? Was it a bad call? I think it was clear that he did hold him, but Dawn Marie, hit that like button for Police Off the Cuff. I liked it for the $400, Scott. Yeah, when you win a bet or it affects your gambling, then you think it was a great call. When it's not your team and your team loses because of the call, it wasn't such a great call. But guys, I'm at 38 minutes and 40 seconds. I think I'm going to stop at 40 minutes today. Still amazes me how the NFL has 501c nonprofit status. Isn't that unbelievable, D love of God? You're absolutely true. It's ridiculous. The owners of the NFL are multi-billionaires, right? The players are all paid very well, and the taxpayers, in essence, are subsidizing pro football. I don't get that either. It is a little bit pathetic, but that's politics, I guess, right? So great to see all you guys. Again, there's nothing really new that I can report to you guys in regards to the Brian Kohberger, the Idaho quadruple murder case. There's nothing new, and if there is anything new, I would bring it to you. Obviously, the Alec Murdoch case is still the trial's still going on. It doesn't seem like it's as popular as a lot of other things. People are not they're not enamored with it, And then, of course, we got the Alec Baldwin case coming up. Christina Miller, enjoy. Have a safe rest of the day. You guys, too. Guys, I want to say it's Monday. Monday. So let's all have a great Monday, a great start to the week. And thanks for tuning in to me today. And I hope we had some fun. And I'll talk to you soon. God bless.